Have you ever seen a robot profiting over 6,000%? Well, this robot exists on the MQL5 marketplace, and when I found it last week there was just one thing to do: test it out. And the results were very surprising. Let me show it to you. Hi, my name is Petko and in today's video I will show you the trading robot Waka Waka, and we will see together if this is the best Forex robot on the marketplace. Now, usually when I see this type of performance, I immediately become really skeptical and then spend about 10 to 15 minutes attempting to figure it out what is wrong with it, usually concluding that it is a scam. But with this robot I spent a few days investigating it, researching through the different platforms, the verified track record on my FX book and the MQL5 marketplace, reading all the reviews. I even joined their Telegram group that includes over 500 active traders without any complaints. And slowly my skepticism turned into positivity. And I already have the robot Waka Waka on VPS, but before I show it to you, let me give you an idea what this robot is all about. So if you look at the description on the MQL5 marketplace, you will notice that this is an advanced grid system and it works on real account for years. It supports Aussie CAD, Aussie New Zealand and New Zealand CAD. What really impressed me, to be honest with you, are the reviews. You can see that there are 47 reviews and the ratings are really good, except of this one who says, "How do I join the private Telegram group? Congratulations on the EA, excellent." Okay, so this guy actually left 1-star review for the EA because he had a question about the Telegram group, but at the same time he says that the EA is excellent. So the EA didn't really deserve that 1-star because he couldn't find the Telegram group link or so on. He's still satisfied with the reviews. I saw as well that the seller, Valeria, is responding to some of the comments, which is really good as well. But if we focus on the installation, you will see that it works on the M15 chart. It is recommended to be placed on the Aussie CAD, just like what I did on the VPS, and it says that there is a solid backtest, which I will show you in a second, and yep, that is true as well. So below you can see many of the settings, and I'm not going through all of that. There is the maximum drawdown percent, which is kind of a solution for the people that are afraid of using grid systems and martingale systems, because obviously there is the risk that at one point you will have issues with your margin. However, the seller recommends that with only 130 leverage, I advise not to use higher than low risk settings on a less than 6K account. So there are different risk settings in the EA that I will show you in a second, but pretty much you can control the risk you are taking. And of course, this reflects on the expected return. But with leverage 1 to 100, it should be fine without the significant risk setting, which is another risk setting in the EA, on a $1,000 account, right? So pretty much you can start with a $1,000 account if you use higher leverage and if you don't go over the significant risk setting. And I'm not going through all of that because you can read it yourself and you can go through all of the reviews left. As I said one more time, it is very impressive to have such reviews on the MQL5. Anything above 4.5 is good enough. But let me just go to the live performance and I'll switch to English. So right in here you can see more details, but if we look at the growth, you will see that it actually went from 0 above 6,000%, above 6,300 and something, which is really unbelievable. So I believe everything on the right side is the verified track record on MQL5, and it starts from April, actually May 2021, and here is the growth every single month, and you can see that everything is on profit. So it is indeed 58 months on a profit. What's interesting as well is that after May 2021 we can notice less percentage as growth, but this is because they have actually lowered the risk to make sure the traders who trade this EA will not blow their accounts. And below you can notice that there were a few withdrawals, I believe. Let me just check quickly. So yeah, this account started with $500. There were about $4,000 of withdrawals, and the profit is $9,578.20. That is really good profit. However, let me just check the drawdown, and you will see that we have drawdown above 20% at one point, and after that it was reduced, not reaching over 12. And I guess this is where this EA becomes a little bit riskier if you are trading it on FTMO challenge or any other prop trading firm challenge, because there you cannot exceed 5 or 10% depending on the conditions. And what is quite important when you research and you test an expert advisor is to check actually the website of the seller. And here it is. This is the page for the Waka Waka on the seller's website, and it says that it is a record-breaking EA that has been plus 58 months on a profit, and that is something that I really wanted to confirm. How come it is actually a record-breaking EA? And then I went to the MyFX book performance, and here we have track record verified and the trading privileges verified. But if you scroll lower and you go through the years, you will see that there is not a single losing month. And for example, if you go to the MyFX book and you just go through the top systems, or let's say the most popular systems, you will notice that with most of them, or nearly all of them, there is a losing month eventually. And this is, I guess, where Waka Waka is what they call it, a record-breaking EA. So yep, another one here, a losing, and I won't go through all of them, you can do that yourself, but the performance is really promising. As well, what I like to do to make sure really that this statistic is verified and it is real is, once I put the expert advisor on a VPS, I want to compare the open trades that are shown on the MyFX book as well. So here we have 4 trades and I have 4 trades on the VPS at the same time. The prices are matching, so I couldn't really find anything wrong with it. I'll show you that in a second, but before I do that, let me just show you quickly how you can backtest this expert advisor if you decide for yourself. In front of me I have a demo account with the sponsor of today's video, BlackBull Markets, where I will test the expert advisor Waka Waka. You will see that I have a demo account that I just opened before recording this video for the purpose of the video. But for those of you who are not familiar with the BlackBull Markets, it is a trusty broker that I've been using for quite a long time for algorithmic trading. So every time I want to test a new robot, I would put on BlackBull Markets. So what I can do right now, since this is a MetaTrader 5 platform, I will go to market, I will double click on it, and here are many EAs. So just look for Waka Waka, and here it is. I will click on that, and here is pretty much the same information we just saw, but I can test it and it will open in the tester, right? What I will test it for is the Aussie Canadian, because this is the suggested currency pair. So Aussie Canadian would be right in here. Okay, M15, I can select a custom period and I will go back just 1 year. So I'll go for today, but I will go back to 2022, for example. All right, Then I will test it on a 10k account with leverage 1 to 100, and as a modeling I will stick to open prices only. And there could be a visual mode, or I can do it without visual mode, but let me just show you how this expert advisor works. So I'll click on start, and here is the backtester. I'll slow it down so you can see exactly what is going on. So here is the visual backtest, and you will see that it runs immediately on Aussie CAD, Aussie, New Zealand and New Zealand CAD. What we can see from here is that this expert advisor uses standard deviation, RSI and 2 times ATR with different parameters. I can't really say what exactly the entries are, but if I stop it and if I look at the backtest right now, at that point we have a few trades for Aussie CAD, right? Like 3 trades opened. So let me go to Aussie Canadian, and I will just make it a little bit smaller with the indicators, so we want to see the chart. Okay, here it is, and I will just zoom out a little bit. Okay, so you can see that we have one entry, the price goes against us, another long entry, the price goes against us, a third entry, the price goes against us. So with the grid systems you will see entries whenever the price goes against you, and we are pretty much hedging, or we are improving the average price, and eventually when the price recovers we will hit the take profit. So let me see if that is exactly what will happen right now or not. Yep. Okay, so I think this is like a really good example I caught accidentally in here. So 3 long entries and the take profit moves accordingly to a level where it will close on a profit. Okay, so let me just do it quickly. I will increase it just to the maximum so we can see the complete test, and here is the history, the operations, the journal. So the backtest ended up with $11,000, or that means over 10% in the account. But let me show you now the real thing, or that would be the VPS where I have the expert advisor. So as I told you, I have placed this expert advisor on a few different brokers, the BlackBull markets and a few more that I am using, so we will see exactly what the performance is. And if I scroll over, you will see the open trades, and I have 4 of them right now, and I have compared that the Aussie New Zealand trades at 107.44, 107.83 match perfectly with the trades we have on the verified account on my FX book. So it is 107.44 and 107.83. And pay attention here that there are 2 trades with New Zealand Canadian, and with me I have with Aussie Canadian. This could be for various reasons, but most commonly it happens when there are different spreads and quotes from the different brokers. That is why usually when I test such expert advisors, I would put them on different brokers and see how they would perform with the different quotes. However, to make sure that all of these statistics, which with this Waka Waka EI look like really unbelievable, I want to see that the trades that are opened in the verified account from the seller are actually matching with the trades I have on a VPS with the robot that I have placed to trade myself. Okay, hope that makes sense, guys. But let me show you now the expert advisor with all of its properties. So in the inputs of the expert advisor, you will see plenty of different inputs, and I will not cover all of them. But what I want to show you is that there is a lot sizing method, and you can select the risk. So you can go for low risk that is set to 20% annual profit. And if you go, for example, with the mid risk that is set at 40% annual, you can expect higher profitability, right? Because this is what happens in trading and in general in investing. If you increase the risks, you are increasing the chances of profitability and bigger growth in your account, but at the same time you're increasing the risk that you might run out of capital, or you can have a margin call and your funds might not be enough in the account. That is why I will stick to the low risk, and for me 20% on a fully automated expert advisor is just more than enough. Then we have the fixed lot, then we have so many different settings that are really well explained in the PDF attached with the EA. But what else I wanted to point out right here is the maximum floating drawdown, right? So one more time, for the people that are skeptical or afraid of trading grid martingale systems, you have the option, and that's a great solution, where you can set, okay, 30%. If my drawdown reaches above 30%, I want the EA to close all of the trades and I'm out. I'm not risking the rest 70% in the account. Of course, you can increase that to 40% or to 50%. It is up to you. But because on the statistics right in here where we had the drawdown, I saw that it never went more than 24 or 28% of a drawdown, then I'm okay leaving it to 30, right? Because if it goes more than 30, then obviously something super extraordinary happens on the market, right? So 30 is okay for me, but that's my personal choice. And then you can see that there is a solution as well for the FTMO. I will scroll lower. There are the symbols that this EA uses, and here are the parameters for the indicators. There are break-even options, take profit, really a lot of things that I'm not going to talk about right now. Here are the grid settings, and here are the distances between the second trade multiplier, the third, the fifth and sixth trade multiplier, but I would leave it to the default, okay? Personally, I wouldn't dare to change that. And at the same time, I see some news filters, which is really cool, and pretty much that's it. All right, so now let me actually backtest it one more time on the MetaTrader 4. I will just use the maximum date. Okay, so I will remove use date. So I will simply use the maximum date I have from the broker. I will press the home key on my keyboard to load the maximum bars as possible. And then if I click on start, I will go for the current spread. I will click on start, and let's see what we will have. Here is the graph. You can see these small drawdowns that are very normal for grid martingale systems, and you will see that starting with $1,000, I believe in this case, is it testing with $1,000, the EA has achieved, what is it, result, I will go actually to report, net profit $500, so this is 50%, and this is since August 2020 with the broker's data that is available. Okay, here are all the trades. So one more time, if I go to the report, you will see that there were over 900 trades. It's quite an active strategy. The percentages are really good for fully automated strategy according to me, and for me personally it's really worth trying it out. So what I will show you at the end of this video is the client area they have. So pretty much when you purchase expert advisors, you will see that they have a very good dashboard where you can see all of the expert advisors you own. There are different licenses you can enable for the different expert advisors, and at the same time they have really comprehensive and detailed guide for each expert advisor. If I scroll, you will see everything needed for the Waka Waka EA, like I don't know how many pages are these, but like 65 pages, which is usually a work of professionals, okay? a scam seller or a scam company wouldn't do such a hard work to write such a long PDF. And I know that because for my courses I have really hard times writing and creating and designing PDFs because it takes so much time. So if you're a complete beginner, it is absolutely enough to follow the guide and the PDF to learn how to place the expert advisor, how to backtest it, which are the recommended brokers, and so on. And the last thing I wanted to show you with this expert advisor is actually the VPS. So once you purchase a robot, they will give you a VPS, dedicated one, for free for 6 months, and that's what I have right in front of me. So once I was logged in to this VPS, everything was in here. I had all the expert advisors installed with different brokers, so all I had to do is actually to place the EA, or I installed, for example, a few more brokers because I want to test the EAs with different brokers. But with the VPS, they have a complete solution, like a VPS that has all the experts installed with the trading platforms, and you don't really have to do anything. You can just place the robots and monitor, and at the end of the day you will decide if you want to trade this expert advisor. I'm really excited, by the way, to share this robot with you guys, because a fully automated robot with over 6,000% of a profit for over 50 consecutive months is super rare thing. I was really surprised to find it out. I've spent so much time investigating it and testing it. I'll be super happy if you guys test it as well, even with the free demo, or even if you just backtest it, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Now, at the time of recording this video, you can grab the Waka Waka Expert Advisor with $200 discount if you use the link down below in the description, but keep in mind that the prices are incremental after a certain amount of licenses have been sold. And I found out that June last year the price was about $800, so $1,800 might be cheap compared to where the price will be next year. And I guess this is because the developer and the trader Valerie is actually focusing on her existing clients to be able to support them, and prefers to have a small group of clients that are looking into trading professionally, compared to have thousands of traders and being unable to support with all of the questions and comments. Now, for me personally, it wouldn't be worth it spending $1,800 if you're planning to trade with $200 or $500. As she's suggesting, it is best to start with $6K if you're using leverage 1 to 30, or you can go with $1,000 if you use leverage 1 to 100. But according to me, it is really worth it trying this strategy in the long term, and I'll definitely leave it and the VPS with a real account as well. And if you guys want to know how my trading with Waka Waka EA goes, let me know down in the comments, so I might consider recording a second video. And now it is really time to say thank you for staying with me until the end of this longer video compared to all my other videos on the channel. But when it comes to trading, it is really important to cover all details for me, so I will be really useful to you. So thank you very much for staying with me until the end. I will see you in the next video, and always don't forget that I love you guys.